Hey, Make a Cardboard here. So today we're gonna be... Sorry about it, guys. Bloody imposter. This is the real Make a Cardboard here. Anyways, so today I thought we'd talk about magic investing. Okay. Anyways, this is the first episode in the series I'll be running here. Magic investing, just tutorial, not tutorial. Magic investing, just talk about all the different types and stuff, how to do it, whatnot. We're just gonna talk about it all. Here it is. Before we start, I don't actually do much magic investing, but I know a lot about it, so yeah, just talk about it. I want to get into, obviously, it's pretty interesting stuff. I buy a little bit of vintage reservist sort of cards with the rack here, I buy a little bit, but I'm not too big on it. I mean, I am big on it, I'm not big in it. I don't do much of it. Anyway, so this first video, we're going to be talking about just a brief sort of overview, just all the categories. So anyways, let's start. So the first, there's sort of two big splits, and you can have them either way. So you can have split there and then branch off, or you can have split here, branch off, with the split in each branch, if that makes any sense. So anyways, so we're gonna start with, I don't know, singles versus sealed, I guess, because that's one of the big splits. So you get your singles and your sealed. Right. So obviously there's so it's investing in singles and investing in seals. Right. And the second big split, which you're going to put in these subcategories, is obviously vintage and modern. And obviously in sealed, vintage, modern. So I don't know, I'll go look, I guess, should I talk about them as I talk? Okay, so talk about them as I talk. So singles, obviously, your vintage stuff is, I would not recommend investing in modern singles. Some people do it. I don't really like it. It's a bit too volatile. Things can get reprinted. There's just a lot more copies of them out in the world, of course. There's not going to have as much value, whereas vintage, that's where the value is. In singles, that is. We'll talk about sealed in a second. Anyways, so with your singles, the vintage stuff, where you want to go. You want to do much modern single stuff. You don't really want to do it. The only thing it's not really investing. The only thing I do with modern singles is maybe if it's a good EV or IV, intrinsic value set, then you could buy sets, flip the cards, Ikoria Collector, I think that was a good one. Probably not anymore, because you have to go on a way too high cost basis, because it costs. But back, when if you get that for a good value, crank them, flip the singles, you could make double, triple the amount. Or at least, I believe you can. Could. Anyway, so in the singles, so that's what you want to do in modern. You don't really want to invest in modern singles. Not the best idea. Then we have vintage. And then within vintage, we've got a couple more categories, like we have reserve list and then non-reserve list. There's also certain cards which have been banned for their racism. So I failed to see how a lot of them are racist, but apparently they are. The art on certain cards, this is sort of branched into modern as well, but the art on certain cards is banned now. The text, whatever. The artist, Therese Nielsen, we're not meant to have her art for some reason, because she followed some right-wing person. Oh my god. And she's been fired, or whatever. Cancelled. I don't know why. Stupid. Anyways, so that's banned now. Although we did get a Therese Nielsen Force of Will in the new Double Masters, which I guess they just did it before they did this cancelled her. So they had to include it in the set. Anyway, so we've got those sort of things. Then we've also got misprints that also branch into modern as well. But anyways, the big dog when it comes to singles, we have some other subcategories. The big dog when it comes to singles is your reserve list stuff. And then within reserve list, we have the good sets, I guess, the good high value sets. So reserve list, we have ABU, the top three dogs. Actually, no, I think A and B had the lowest print run, then Unlimited actually has a higher print run than Arabian Nights. So obviously, so you got your limited edition ABU, and you got your 4 Horsemen, which are Arabian Nights, Antiquities, Legends, and the Dark. But the Dark's a bit, the single value's not too high there. But all the other 3 are good, and also Sealed Dark's brilliant. But we'll talk about Sealed in a second. Anyways, so we have flipping. In the bear, we got reserve list. So we got ABU, 4 horsemen sets, and then within these reserve list cards, we have graded cards. Now the absolute pinnacle of single investing, or even Magic investing for that, because the most expensive things, more expensive than the most expensive sealed. So we have Alpha 10s or Alpha 9.5s BGS, because BGS 9.5 is generally, people generally say that a 9.5 is the same as a PSA 10. Obviously, if you get a pristine BGS 10, which is super hard to get, especially on an Alpha card, like, those things are so old now. Like, they should be worth a lot more than what they are, to be honest. They are so old. They're just... It's crazy that you can get, like, PSA 10s still. I guess it's from opening packs. It's been kept a long time. I don't think you'd be able to find just some random card from ages ago and it'd be able to get a PSA 10. Or a BGS 9.5. Or a BGS 10 for that matter. Anyways. So we have the graded stuff. Alpha 10's pinnacle. Obviously, you probably grade up until... I'd say even Urza's. Some Urza's cards you'd grade. But I don't know. Probably past Urza's, you probably wouldn't grade cards. I mean, people do, but I'm just saying, as a general, you don't really grade cards past. Not many people grade. They don't have as much graded. They don't have as much of a high graded multiplier when you get to the more modern sets. So, like, obviously, like, if you have some Alpha 10, if you have an Alpha 10, it's going to be worth so much more than a regular card. But when you get to, I don't know, let's say really modern stuff, like, I don't know, some, like, Jace the Mind Sculpt 10, that's, like, probably going to be, like, £10 more expensive, or $10 more expensive, whatever. It doesn't really do much grading modern cards, and, I mean, the fee's like $15, so that wouldn't even be worth it, even for the $10, which you probably wouldn't even get a $10 premium anyways. So yeah, we have that. And obviously the absolute most pinnacle is an Alpha 10 Lotus. I don't even know if there's any in existence. There are a couple 9.5 Lotuses Alpha Lotuses on the market at the moment on eBay. I've spotted. I don't know what's going on with them. They are like 300 grand, so I'm not sure if anyone's going to buy them, because that is a very high price. But there's probably someone out there who buy them. Looking at you, Rudy. Are you going to buy them? I don't know. If you see this, let me know. Alright. I believe Open Boosters. I feel like he's got an Alpha 10 Lotus. I'm not sure though. He might have sold it. That's how he manages to continue opening packs. Anyway, so you Alpha Black Lotus. That is the pinnacle. Alpha 10 Black Lotus is the pinnacle. And that's the most expensive Magic thing you can own. So when it comes to investing, probably all your Alpha 10s, they're going to go up in value. Not at the moment, but definitely in the future they will have value. And regular singles reserve list, even not graded, they're probably going to go up in value as well. There's a couple which are a bit... They've had some recent movements and they're probably going to retrace a little bit. So don't buy them, but I'm not sure off the top of my head which ones those are, but I know there are some. Anyways, generally your reserve list, more expensive reserves by the way, because there are some reserve lists, like Fallen Empire's reserve lists, like they're going to have no value. Like Ring of Gix, that's like not going to go up in value. It's like $1.50. Yeah, I'm talking like more expensive stuff. Obviously, the rack is not really expensive, but I think it might be reserve. Yeah, I think it's reserve list. It's only like $10, maybe like $12. That's sort of, I reckon, if it is reserve list, I reckon it's not the best card. That's the thing. But I reckon cards like this, but obviously a bit more expensive than that. We have sort of later reserve stuff like City of Solitude. That'll probably go up in a bit of value, but I'd probably stay away from the later stuff. Although, I believe now that the ABU and Fourth Horseman sets are starting to sort of run low on supply, these sort of Legends, Visions, whatever the other set, Urzas, Visions, Urzas, all that stuff. all the other, like Tempest. I don't know how close Tempest is to all, but stuff like that is gonna. Oh, we got revised. That's yeah. I reckon all the sort of lower cards, value cards, they're gonna start. They're gonna start seeing some increases soon, because I'm going way too in depth into this stuff because it's meant to be a brief overview, but whatever. So they're, yeah, and then people are going to start moving into them because there's not much supply of the other stuff. So they're probably going to see some value soon. But don't take me word for word on that. Don't in fact anything in this video. It's all just, you know, sort of, I'm just saying stuff. Don't take it anything. Don't come to me if I said something wrong or whatever. Yeah. This is just, you can use this information or not. You can fact check it. I believe it's true, everything I'm saying, but you know, whatever. Alright, and then we also have obviously our regular sort of ABU for Forceman sets, non-reserve list cards, like Scathe Zombies, for example, non-reserve list, but because it's alpha, all alpha cards are still worth something. If you get an alpha 10, any alpha 10, which isn't reserve list, is still going to be worth quite a lot and probably will go up in value, but I recommend probably, I'm not too sure on the price increases, but I'd say if you're going for investing singles, just go for them high reserve list stuff. Like, so from alpha, of course, we got like, you know, Shiv and Dragon, the dual lands. They're like, everyone says like the base of investing is revised dual lands. Unlimited dual lands are a lot nicer because they don't yellow as much and they're a lot cleaner. But also we've got the dual lands, the power 9, like, you know, the Moxes. That's part of the power 9. Like Time Twister, all that stuff, and then obviously we have the top dog, Black Lotus. So all that stuff, and then from the expansion sets like Arabian Nights, we got like pyramids that only moved up. Well, by recently, I don't mean really recently, but in terms of everything else, yes, it moved up recently. We got pyramids. From Antiquities, like we got loads of stuff. Legends, we got the top 4 black mana cards. They're pretty good. A lot of stuff. More from Arabian Nights, we have like. What's the top card? Bazaar Baghdad, that's yeah. They're your cards which a big high value reserve list stuff. They're probably going to go up in value. I mean, they will go up in value pretty much. So there are the things to buy, but don't necessarily buy them now because I'm not sure if they're moving up now. I mean, you can't, if you love the cards, like me, then just buy them, honestly, if you want them. Just buy them, and then they're going to go up in value anyways. So it's a win-win. You get to keep the card early. You may have to wait longer. And obviously, if you're actually going for investment, that's not good to have to wait ages. You want to buy it just before it goes up. But obviously, if you enjoy the cards, just get it if you want it, honestly. At the end of the day, you buy cards because you want them. To do this sort of magic investing, you've really just got to like the cards as well. Because otherwise, you're just not going to find it interesting, which is me. And you got to know about the cards and the history as well, I think. This kind of stuff. Anyways, that's enough on singles. Let's talk a little bit about sealed. Obviously, also singled in modern, we have lottery cards, whatnot. They're not probably. I'm probably not going to say they're good. Misprints, they're probably not good for investing. Just mainly stick to reserve list cards, honestly. Just the high end reserve list cards. Also, some of the mid tier, like Rack, City of Solitude from the later sets. You can try speculating on cards which you may think you're like, whoa, that's so good. How is that not in value yet? Speculate on it, get a couple of them, might go, you know, speculating. Next we have, let's just talk about a little bit of sealed. So sealed, the subcategories, we have obviously vintage, modern. Then modern we have collector boosters, which many people have been favouring over regular boosters for collecting, just because the simple fact that collector boosters have taken so much value out of regular stuff that people just preferring these collector boosters. They're probably going to increase more quicker than these regular sets. Also upcoming in modern we have set boosters, which I think are going to be great. I'm loving the look of these set boosters. Probably definitely going to buy them over draft boosters because I don't personally draft with these boosters. I don't do much drafting. I don't even play the game that much. I just love the cards, man. The art and everything. I really like the old cards, but some of the new cards are cool. I just I don't do much playing. But the set boosters are great. I think they're going to be a good thing. You've got the signed cards. So for keeping them, I mean, obviously we don't know enough about them yet, but I think keeping them long term, especially the first set as end card, the first set they're out, because they might get discontinued, never know. Same with these collectors. I reckon they're probably going to get discontinued eventually. They're going to be like the lottery card era. It's going to be an interesting era to look back on, and they're probably going to have some value, especially if they get discontinued. You know, the cool like era people want to buy, collect all the collector sets, because there won't be that many. I don't think. I think after maybe the set after Zendikar, I think it might be discontinued. That's my guess. And as these set boosters, I think set boosters will stay around, but they're still going to be good for buying sealed. Everything sealed go pretty much. If you're buying sealed product, it's eventually going to go up in value. The only thing to worry about is it's going to go down in value. Some sets might go down in value first, like Command 2019. Obviously, that went tanked all the way down, and then I can't say that on YouTube, can I? The virus hit, boom, destroyed, and then it's really low, and that's pretty much rock bottom. That's where it's starting to steadily increase now, of course. Anyway, so that's all you got to worry about with sealed. It's pretty much always going to go up in value. I think there's a set which hasn't gone up in value unless Magic shuts down and everything goes to zero, which, let's be real, it's not going to happen. So anyways, it's just about knowing what good set is going to go up quicker, basically. But most sets do have your average sort of 5% a year, so that's obviously pretty decent stuff. You're looking for that, stable, nice, good. But obviously you got to make sure you buy them at the right time. Always wait. If you're buying them, always wait till they're out of print to sort of buy them in. Because otherwise, you could buy them in at some high value. You think it's the bottom. Oh, here comes some random big massive supply. Oh no, they've gone down in value. You just lost a bunch of monies. Yeah, you'll be careful with that, so always wait till they're out of print and buy them in at a good value, which you definitely don't think it's not going to tank down, and then it should go up from there. And obviously you got to look out for the good sets, like for example this year Theros probably not going to go up in value that much. It will do pretty decent, I reckon, though, and the collector Theros might do, but Throne on the other hand, I think that's going to be a good set. That's going to go up pretty nice. It's going to increase very nice. Also, the new Zendikar set, that's probably going to age pretty well. Double Masters, that is going to age well, I reckon, for sure. I love that set, it's awesome. So Core 2021, it's a pretty good core set. It's pretty irrelevant though, to be honest, because just Double Masters came and I don't... Core 2021, I feel like it just came and went like in like a couple of days. It's just, Ikoria, how could I forget? That's collector boosters, they're going to be big. Because they got the Godzilla stuff, the Triomes, everything. Obviously, things with good land cycles are sets you want to look out for. I'm going way too depth in again. This is meant to be an overview, but I will talk more. Probably recover some of the stuff in soon to come videos about each individual sort of thing. Anyway, that's enough talk about modern. We think we've done enough there. We'll continue this discussion on modern sealed later. Anyway, so vintage sealed we have So obviously all the other modern sealed stuff, by the way, I don't think it's very good for investing. Only booster boxes. Your sort of like your bundles, they didn't go up in value that much. They do, but not as much. Booster boxes are your main good thing. Also like your Planeswalker decks, they're a no go. One thing which does do okay though is pre-release kits, especially if you're a obviously because for investing in sealed big time. If you want to actually have a store and have access to distributors to get them good prices. Or if you're living in the USA, just be a Patreon to you, Rudy, although a lot of them are gone. I don't live in the USA, so I can't do it. Can't get them nice prices of them, but I definitely recommend you doing it if you do live in the USA and you're looking to buy cheap Magic for sitting on. Get it off Rudy, honestly. $80 for a box, that's flipping good. But yeah, if you own a store and you have access to these distributors, a lot of times they have like loads of pre-release kits and you just buy them all in. They're decent for investing in. Probably booster box is your best bet. Anyways, so onto vintage, we have sealed, and also one thing which is quite popular in vintage is your starter decks. They're good for opening if you're looking to open and grade cards, although that's not really a good thing anymore because the sealed value is just so much higher than what you're actually going to get out of it. It's just not really worth it these days. You're better off keeping it sealed. Unless you just want to have that experience of opening a pack, go ahead. We have that stuff, sealed and stuff that. So for sealed, it's still, because obviously they're really high, but I'd reckon it's still probably worth buying some of the old sets, especially if you think it's like undervalued, underappreciated. Like some of those weird sets like Avacyn sets, some of those are a bit underappreciated. You buy them in now and they're going to suddenly get up, whatever. you know, as underappreciated sets you can get. Sets you want to look out for, yeah. So anyway, so vintage sealed, you got, that's not even that vintage, but that's actually quite, some of the more sort of mid, not vintage, but not really super modern stuff, you can still buy in. It's obviously a bit higher, but if you missed out and you, well, don't have fear of missing out, obviously. But if you weren't around then and you didn't get the right, it still could be worth it to go in now, even when it's higher, like $110 a box or whatever, not 80. You can't get it for the good, like 85, 80 pricing. You could still go in now on them. Depends on the set though. Probably for most sets, it's not a good idea. But you can do on some. Anyway, so proper vintage stuff. We've got like all that old stuff. Buying that sealed is probably, especially some of the less. So obviously some of them, like the Urza's boxes, are really reaching they're really reaching the top boundaries of their price. So they're probably, and they're not going to move around soon, probably, I don't think. So they're probably not a good thing to buy, but like sort of the more, you know, like, not Visions, but Visions, if you know what I'm saying, that era. A bit more later on. Maybe buy some Alpha stuff if you can. Alpha starters and sealed, just, you know, they're probably going to go up in value, a lot of them in sealed stuff, so they're always good. If you find a good deal on eBay as well, if you just find good deals, basically, you want to buy into them. So I think that's the end of this overview video. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. You know, yeah, no one's probably even listening this far on, but if you are, good for you, man.